I mean, it's a title in it, but it's not a world championship, so what we're doing.
Again, something he should be very proud of. And I'm happy for him to be able to do it in his own way. He's been in the game for so long. I still feel like he is at the top.
Tom Aspinall didn't hold back when asked about the UFC's BMF belt, especially with the upcoming trilogy bout between Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier. Speaking honestly on a recent episode of TNT Sports, the UFC interim heavyweight champion criticized the title, saying that it doesn't hold the same value as a world championship. From his point of view, the fight between Holloway and Poirier doesn't need a belt to validate its importance. Both men are legends in the sport, he argued, with massive name recognition, impressive rankings, and long fighting careers that speak for themselves. According to Aspinall, the matchup sells itself without needing an honorary title attached to it.
I mean, it's a title in it, but it's not a world championship, so what we're doing. These guys don't need a title, do you know what I mean? Like, the two legends of the sport, look at the name value, even look at the rankings, look at the amount of fights they've got, look at the shorts they're wearing. Like, we don't really need a title on the line, to be honest.
All right, Misery, what do you reckon?
While fans have debated the legitimacy of the BMF strap since it was first introduced in 2019, Aspinall voiced what many have long thought. It's more a promotional tool than an actual title. He emphasized that fighters of Holloway and Poirier's caliber don't require such gimmicks to make their fights meaningful. This perspective cast a different light on UFC 318, which is being heavily marketed around the BMF belt and Dustin Poirier's final fight.
There's a lot of this happening. When he like I said, this is part of the reason why we love him.
Yeah.
He's so exciting, he's got so many finishes, because when he gets his opponent hurt, he smells the blood, he's straight on him. Also, if he's fighting an intelligent striker, like Max Holloway, it's easy to counter.
As for Max Holloway, he finds himself entering this bout under unique circumstances. Known as one of the most dominant featherweights in UFC history, Holloway requested to be removed from the 145-pound rankings just before his UFC 318 clash against Poirier. He had previously remained ranked at the top of the division despite making a move up to lightweight. His decision to ask for removal signaled a full commitment to the lightweight division, possibly marking a new chapter in his career. He openly called his continued featherweight ranking ridiculous, a statement that emphasized his readiness to focus solely on the 155-pound weight class.
It's ridiculous. I don't understand. I mean, the rankings period, bro, I don't get it. It's just all over the place, man. You know how, I mean, we go back to the Gaethje fight. Gaethje was the #1 contender when I fought him, and he was ranked 5 or 4 at the time. The way I beat him, I thought was, it was cool. I felt like things was going my way early in the fight. During the whole fight, I felt like I had control of the fight, and then to finish the fight with that point down in that moment, I thought definitely when the rankings come out, I wouldn't come out at number 9. That's just ridiculous, and the guy was at 5 or something, or 4. So at the end of the day, the rankings is they're all over the place,
Meanwhile, Poirier's legacy is at the forefront of discussion as he prepares for what is expected to be the final walk of his MMA career. The beloved lightweight veteran will fight in front of his home crowd in Louisiana, which adds even more emotion to an already significant matchup.
Yeah, it's different. It feels like a normal fight week, but like deep down inside, it feels a little weird knowing like this is the last time I'm ever gonna feel this and do this and go through these media rounds, and I don't know. It's hard to digest it all.
UFC featherweight kingpin Alexander Volkanovski shared his thoughts on Poirier's long career, choosing to highlight a particular win that many fans may not have seen coming. Instead of picking Poirier's high-profile finishes over Conor McGregor or his unforgettable war with Dan Hooker, Volkanovski pointed to the gritty knockout victory over Benoit Saint-Denis at UFC 299.
All right, yeah, so this one's a bit tricky because he's had so many bigger fights like your Conor McGregor's, but one thing that stands out to me is Benoit. Benoit, like Saint-Denis, that's it. I think that is one fight that actually stands out to me just because, it was coming off, a bad loss where people would have thought, oh, he's done. Hot prospect, a lot of hype on this guy.
Volkanovski explained that the Saint-Denis fight stood out because Poirier was coming off a tough loss and was being written off by fans and analysts alike. Saint-Denis was an up-and-coming prospect with momentum, but Poirier silenced the doubters in signature fashion, showcasing his grit and knockout power. That performance ultimately earned him a third shot at lightweight gold, and Volkanovski found that bounce-back moment to be one of the most impressive of Poirier's career. For him, it exemplified what makes Poirier such a respected figure in the fight world, a fighter who, even late into his career, managed to silence critics and remain elite.
Get a title fight as well. Incredible fight that was. And then now finish the BMF fight as well. It's just, I just think the bounce back at that's far into his career and still be at the top where he is. It's just impressive. So I think that was one that stands out to me.
Physically, Poirier has transformed drastically since his first meeting with Holloway over a decade ago. The two originally met 13 years ago, both as featherweights early in their UFC careers. Since then, Poirier has bulked up into a full-sized lightweight, and recent footage shared on social media showed him looking in tremendous shape, lean and muscular, ready for his final octagon appearance. It's a visual reminder of how far both fighters have come and how much they've evolved since their initial clash. Meanwhile, Tim Welch also examined Poirier's success in close-range exchanges. He's excellent in the pocket, not just for landing clean shots, but for his defensive reads. Poirier's inside game could be crucial in this fight, especially if Holloway starts finding his rhythm with range striking. Tim mentioned that Poirier has the heavier hands and that his shots tend to wear opponents down quickly when he lands consistently. That kind of forward pressure, mixed with his ability to counter with short hooks and uppercuts, has been a big key in his previous wins.
Chun Sung Jung, Cub Swanson, Conor McGregor, Bobby Green, Michael Johnson, Jim Miller, Eddie Alvarez, Anthony Pettis, Justin Gaethje, Eddie Alvarez again, Max Holloway, Habib, Dan Hooker, Conor McGregor twice, Charles Oliveira, Michael Chandler, Justin Gaethje, Benoit Saint-Denis, Islam Makhachev. It's like, holy smokes. Holy smokes. What an absolute legend. It's confirmed that he is retiring. Okay, so this is a retirement fight, and no better person to go to battle with than Max Holloway. Boxer, primarily a boxer. Good jiu-jitsu. He was talking about it. I was watching some of his vlogs. He likes to train jiu-jitsu out of fight camp, and then when fight camp comes around, do all of his striking, a little bit of sparring here and there. But Max Holloway, absolute OG, and he's only 33 years old.
Another major factor Welch focused on is Holloway's durability and his habit of getting stronger as the fight progresses. He pointed to Holloway's ability to take damage and keep pressing forward, something that breaks the spirit of many fighters. Poirier did beat Holloway in their previous meetings, but both times he had to fight off serious pressure and volume to stay ahead. If he starts to fade in the later rounds, Holloway's engine, an endless jab cross body attack, could overwhelm him.
Okay, he took on Ilia Topuria and got cracked with that left hook. This is the first fight ever in his career he's coming back after a KO like that. That could affect some people. That can affect some people big time mentally. Max Holloway is not one of them. He is a Hawaiian gangster, a real gangster. He's going to come in there ready to rumble. Before that, he had that nasty KO over Justin Gaethje. Body, head. 1 second left in the 5th round. One of the most insane KOs I've ever been. We were cage side for that, and that was absolutely insane.
Holloway too has seen a legendary rise through the ranks. After climbing to the top of the featherweight division, he claimed the undisputed title in 2017 with a win over Jose Aldo and defended it until 2019 when Volkanovski dethroned him. Since then, Holloway made multiple attempts to reclaim the featherweight belt, losing in tightly contested fights to Volkanovski and more recently to Ilia Topuria. Still, Holloway's stock never truly dropped, especially after his most iconic win, a last-second knockout of Justin Gaethje at UFC 300. That highlight reel moment earned him the BMF title, delivering one of the most unforgettable finishes in UFC history.
UFC 318, you got any thoughts on that main event? Because it's like, you know, Holloway versus DP. Dustin's up 2.
Respectfully, I don't care to see it again. When I say I don't want to see the fight again, it's because Dustin's going to beat the shit out of him. I'm just tired of seeing the same fights. He's a legend. I don't think he can beat Dustin. I think Dustin beats him. I think Dustin hits harder. I think he's bigger. I think he's stronger. I think he grapples better. I think he's more confident. I think he's going to be hard to beat at home. I think he's beat him already twice. I think he called his shot as he should. Max doesn't shy away from anything. I am just a fight fan answering this question. I'm biased to DP. I think he's going to beat him. Easy.
Now, Holloway finds himself in a rare position, despite being seen as one of the all-time greats. A loss on Saturday would make him 0-3 against his two biggest rivals, Volkanovski and Poirier. It's a strange statistic for a fighter of his caliber, and one that complicates his legacy. That narrative adds even more weight to this third fight with Poirier, not just for the BMF title, but for Holloway's standing among the sport's elite.
Oh man, just his composure, his belief in himself. Goes a long way. Like when you have that sort of belief in yourself, yeah, there's a composure that comes with it while you're in there. You know, when there are problems you're facing, you know, that confidence and belief in yourself to just work around them is always going to do it, because that's the same guy that turns up in the gym.
Yeah.
So if there's a problem in the gym, he's going to solve it. And the same comes fight time, which I feel that's helped me through my career, and I believe the same with him. Which brings me to what I want to chat about is he's coming off the first knockout loss ever.
Yeah.
Not many people can bounce back from that. Like, a lot of people change after that. But there's only very few that can bounce back in a positive way.
Poirier's own legacy is also nuanced. A standout featherweight in his earlier years, he eventually found his home at lightweight. He captured the interim title in 2019 by beating Holloway, but never claimed undisputed gold. Championship defeats to legends like Khabib Nurmagomedov, Charles Oliveira, and Islam Makhachev kept him just shy of achieving that final goal. This fight then represents his last shot at leaving with a belt in hand, even if it's not a world championship. Ending his career as the BMF champion in front of his home crowd would be a fitting send-off for a fighter known for his toughness, striking, and heart.
Here to take part in this, right? Dustin wants to win, and obviously he's beaten Max Holloway twice, right? So he's an opportunity to fight a guy that he's already had success against, but it ain't gonna be easy. I mean, Max is as good as they come, and he's motivated to hold on to that BMF championship. You know, you got to make sure that you're locked in if you want to get a victory in those situations always. But it's even more being that Max knows that Dustin's done, right? Dustin's going to walk away from fighting. Max still has to be here. He wants to get a victory over Dustin as Dustin retires, because he's still got to deal with everything that mixed martial arts entails.
From a stylistic standpoint, many expect this fight to be a striking clinic. Legendary Bilal Muhammad gave his take ahead of UFC 318, predicting that this clash will be fought mostly on the feet. With two of the UFC's most accomplished boxers facing off, fans can expect an action-heavy bout full of technical exchanges, and possibly another highlight reel finish. The previous two fights between them suggest there will be little need for wrestling or groundwork. This is likely to be a battle of fists, timing, and endurance.
I think can't get in a firefight. You can't be in the pocket with Poirier. He's so good there. He does it effortlessly. He has good volume. So I think you use those kicks, side kicks, keeping a long range for Holloway, hitting those angles. And I think that if you do that, keep at that range, start picking it up later in the fourth and fifth round, you can't eke out a victory. Poirier, your last fight, you can't get emotional on there. You can't just want to make it a firefight. I know that's what you want.
Max Holloway, never one to shy away from making a statement, has sent a powerful and direct message to Dustin Poirier ahead of their highly anticipated trilogy fight. He's planning to retire the Diamond himself. Known for his calm confidence and fighting IQ, Holloway rarely dives into trash talk, but this time he's made it clear that Poirier's farewell fight might not end the way the Louisiana crowd hopes. With Poirier announcing this bout as his final appearance inside the octagon, Holloway sees it as the perfect opportunity not only to settle their rivalry, but to take full control of the narrative by being the man who closes Poirier's legendary career.
We're gonna share that octagon for 25 minutes. I think so. It's gonna be it'll be a fair play. No bad blood between us, between the fans, and it just be another one. It just sucks with everything going into it, and with Dustin announcing that this is his last fight, this is his last dance in his hometown. It's amazing to be a part of this, but it just sucks that I have to play spoiler, but you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
It is what it is. Obviously you have both changed a lot since you last fought for the interim lightweight title, but what would you say is the biggest correction that you had to make from the second fight going into this third one?
I mean, it's just time, man. It's just time. With that first fight, It was just a time thing, you know.
Although UFC 318 is being heavily branded around Poirier's retirement, many believe the stakes are actually higher for Holloway. A win could thrust him straight into the lightweight title conversation. A loss, however, would continue an unfortunate trend of him falling short against his biggest adversaries. For a fighter often included in the greatest of all time conversations, that kind of record against key rivals will always be a footnote in his legacy.
You know, never losing 2 fights in a row. I lost my last one, so finishing my career with that track record is incredible. For me personally, it's important I'm motivated to go out there and show that I'm still one of the best in the world, and I'm walking away from this sport on my terms, that I'm not getting squeezed out or chewed up and beat up and forced out of this life of fighting. I've just made the decision that I want to focus on my health and my family, and that I've done enough in the sport, and I'm content with my career. That's all driving forces for this.
In the end, UFC 318 is more than just a farewell party or a title defense. It's a crossroads for 2 of the sport's most beloved fighters. For Poirier, it's a chance to walk away with one last symbol of glory in front of his hometown fans. For Holloway, it's an opportunity to rewrite his story at lightweight and prove that he's still one of the best in the world, regardless of weight class or previous setbacks. Regardless of how fans feel about the BMF belt itself, there's no denying that this fight carries significant meaning for both men involved. So, whether you're Team Diamond or riding with Blessed, UFC 318 promises fireworks, legacy-defining moments, and possibly the end of an era. This isn't just a fight, it's history in the making. If you're hyped for this showdown, smash that like button, drop your predictions in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for all the latest breakdowns, reactions, and post-fight analysis. The BMF belt is on the line, but it's legacy that's truly at stake.